This is good. um,
Okay.
yeah. I know. I had them.
Okay. I'm going to do this on here because there's some people who aren't here. We're videoing it, so I want to be able to show them the video and they can hear your questions in the Q&A and that sort of thing. So welcome everybody. This is a meeting just for us to get centered for this semester, for this year, start to set some expectations about what we're doing. And this is kind of new to some of you. We used to do this back in the day, especially when we had a lot more events, and we're pushing to do that. So that's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to get everybody focused. We're gonna kick back off having a big event in the spring. We're calling it Band-Aid Battle of the Bands. We're gonna invite all the other schools, invite everybody else, and we're gonna just duke it out and see. We'll get some celebrity judges and that sort of thing. So that's gonna be in the spring for sure. So I want everybody to like be preparing your bands now, getting your music ready for that sort of thing so that we're representing in there. We've always done a really good job with these kind of battle of bands, and we've always had some places and first places, that sort of thing. So we'd like to keep that tradition going. Okay, so I wanted to just talk to you students about, I'm going to look at the camera sometimes too, because some of you are going to be watching this. Your parents have chosen Band-Aid School of Music for a reason, right? It is a privilege to be a part of this school. We're the national champion rock band school. We have some of the best teachers in the country. I mean, Austin is the live music capital of the world. These are some of the best musicians in this country. And it's another skill to be able to pass that information along to you all. So it's a privilege. The facilities here, we're in 78704 zip code. It's, this is really high-end stuff you're dealing with. Like, try to go get a rehearsal space or a garage that's got this level of gear, that has your drum set up for you all the time. You don't have to haul it in. It's got all the gear here. You're really not going to find it. So recognize it as a privilege. Treat it like a privilege. Treat it like this is your rehearsal space. So treat it so that you want the gear to last a long time. Make sure that the space is nicer than you found it when you walk in. Don't leave your stuff laying around. Wrap your cables. If you're a drummer, come up and learn from your teacher how to tune the drums. And make sure that everything's tightened every time you sit down. All the cymbals are in the right place. Snares, all the stands are tight. If you're a singer, make sure all the mic stands are tight before you use them. Like, really understand how to use the gear. If you're a guitarist, and there's something that happens with one of these guitars that you're using here that's ours, let somebody know so that we can change the string. Don't just leave a stringless guitar sitting over there for somebody to find. If a cable goes out, give that to the teacher so that we can either repair it or get rid of it, right? So it's not a problem for other people. If something starts shorting out, we want to get that stuff cleared out. So we're just here to make music, create art. Does that make sense to everybody? Who's with me? Say aye. Aye. All right, cool. Okay, so I got a letter from a student who I've been working with for six years maybe now, Casey Campos. He wrote this beautiful letter to me about like the impact that this program has had on his creative and artistic life, and it was beautiful. Like I'm gonna put it up in the trophy room. Like, it was such an accomplishment to hear. Like, our intention is to support you as artists, to see you. It's really rare that you're with a group of people that really see you as artists. And that was one of the things that struck me the most. Like, of all the compliments that he gave me about how grateful he was to be here and that Band-Aid had given him this opportunity, he said, "You really see me." And that really struck me, because that's rare. So I want you to recognize that these people, when they're giving you feedback you don't want to hear about your playing, they're seeing something in you that you might not see in yourself. They're seeing what you're capable of. And these guys have the experience in the music industry to understand what you're going to need for the next stage and the next stage and the next stage. Cool? And even if you're not going to be in the music industry, if you do this program for a couple of years and you're like, yeah, I don't want to be a professional musician, I just love music, these skills that you're learning here, creating, performing, working together, they're going to serve you in whatever you can do. And if you can get up and play music in front of people, you can do anything, right? Anything you set your mind to, you can do. So something to keep in mind. These folks see you, all right? Let's see, we talked about taking pride in the gear, treat this facility with respect, leave it better than you found it. Parent expectations, wanted to talk a little bit about that. Parents, these staff are, they've got a lot going on. They're gonna move from your rehearsal to another rehearsal, to their own band rehearsal, to their own show. And a lot of times they can't really communicate with you much outside of the session. So if you're not already doing this, really take advantage of those sessions. Like show up at the session. I see a lot of you doing this already, and this was part of the success of Aftermath that won the national championship. Is the parents would show up at the beginning, talk to me. We'd all get settled on what everybody's expectations are. What are we doing? What shows do we have coming up? What are we working on? And then show up again about 10 minutes before the end of the rehearsal and listen. Have the band perform for you. Right? Give you a show. They can practice performing a show. You can understand the progress that they're making. You can see the spots where they need help, and you can get a download from the teacher about what everybody should be working on for the next week. Right? So that's a great time to communicate, and it's going to be much more effective than trying to text outside or do the email chain and that sort of thing. Right? The other thing I just want to set expectations with our admin team. We're always striving to exceed your expectations. And we're a small admin team, and most of the people on the admin team are also teaching lessons, and also we've got one part-time receptionist. So getting to all those extra emails and all that stuff, just set your expectations to be patient about getting information. 9 times out of 10, what'll tank a good band that's got momentum is parents getting frustrated, and frustrated about something. About they have expectations that they're not seeing happen in the program, but they didn't communicate those expectations, and now they're mad. And now it's the program's fault, or it's somebody else's fault in the band, or it's something, or it's this parent, or it's that parent. So please, 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 just communicate your expectations. If you've got something that you want out of this that you're not getting, let's talk about it. And we're going to go through the phases of the band program. I've got a handout in here somewhere we're going to hand out. We'll talk about that, so you know exactly what to expect in the different phases of this rock band program. Please do us a favor and just read the emails that come out. A lot of you are already doing this. I'm dyslexic. I have a hard time reading any emails that come out, so it's a lot of work. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to anticipate what you're going to need to know and send you that information out. So if you're reading that, it should solve a lot of questions that you would have. And teachers, I would just ask that you anticipate what the parents are going to need to know about shows coming up, preparation. Just think about it from their perspective. They're planning their lives. They've got all this stuff going on as the holidays are approaching. They're planning trips and all that sort of thing. So we need to be thinking ahead and making sure that you've answered the questions they're going to ask in October for December, right? So just be thinking ahead of that. There's a parent portal. If you guys don't know about it, it's on the website, and you can get into your portal. And teachers are filling out every week what happens in rehearsal when they take attendance in that parent portal. And there's a little button they can click to send an email to you all that just gives you the report, which is awesome. I love getting those emails from Josh, who teaches my son Merlin, because I can see what's going on in the lesson. So teachers, just make sure that you're doing that, so everybody's getting that report. And if you have questions, you can always go into your parent portal, and you can look at the progress that's being made, assuming your teachers are taking notes, right? So you guys can work together on that level of communication. And if you need help getting into that portal, just let us know, and we'll help you get a better log. Okay, so students, we're training you for what you're going to need in the music industry. So, right, this program, like, from the outside, looks like it's just you're coming to play in a band, and it's cool, and you show up for an hour and a half a week, and you're learning songs, and you're getting better as a musician. You learn how to play in a band, and you get to play some shows, and that's super cool. But behind the scenes, what we're actually doing is we're training you how to rehearse, how to write songs, how to produce your own shows, how to book your band, how to run sound. And every week you're coming in, and you've got the opportunity to understand, what is Josh doing on the soundboard over there while I'm doing this? So instead of like, I mean, have fun, you know, goof around, talk to each other and that sort of thing, but also pay attention to what's going on. Ask questions about that. Think about what Daniel's doing in rehearsal. Why is he doing that first? Why is he doing this next? Why is he doing this next? Because he's got, in his mind, he knows where he's trying to take you, and he's showing you the progressions. And he knows you need to know this first, so you can do this, so you can do this, so you can get where you're going, right? So be thinking about that, because when you're rehearsing your own band outside of here, you want to be efficient, you want to be effective in your rehearsal, right? So a lot of these guys will plan goof off time, right? Work, goof off. Work, enjoy, have a show at the end of it, right? So you can do the same thing in your rehearsal. So pay attention. We're training you what to do in the music business. And parents, we're also a resource for you guys. You'll see as we talk about the stages, you're the management team, you're the executive producers. We're a resource for you to help you do that. So we'll talk about that. All right, so students, when you're in this program for 3 to 5 years, you're in a bunch of different projects. You're in a band, and then you're in a duo, like y'all right now, and then now you're a solo artist all of a sudden, and then you're waiting for other players, and then you're in another band, and there's an art to doing this that we're showing you, but it's not something we broadcast. So I want to let you know about it. Like, number one, the thing you want to keep in mind is, as musicians, we're always moving in and out of projects. You know, we've got our band, and then we're playing as a side player in another band. There's a band that's touring through, they're doing some shows. We'll pick up a gig there. There's a recording session over here we'll play. Wes, I was going to use you as an example because you play in like 3 to 5 bands at a time, right? So Wes is an amazing drummer. Everybody wants to play with Wes, so Wes is gigging all the time. So moving in and out of bands is not a thing. It doesn't have to be a thing. It's not a drama. It's just what we do. And so we have a process that we show you when you're moving out of band. We call it the powwow. And when somebody's leaving a band, we all go around and we tell them what was amazing about working with them, what we loved about working with them. And then you go around and tell everybody else what you loved about working with them. And the reason we do that is because you always want to leave a situation on a high note. Even if you're frustrated and that guy's upsetting you and she's saying this and you just hate the way that they sound, you want to leave that on a high note. Because in this industry, it's small, and you're going to get a call for another gig with that person, and it might be one that you really want. So we always leave it on a high note, right? So that's why we go around that circle and we say, these are the things that I loved about working with you. And that's it, right? We leave it on a high note. So that door is always open for you. And we do that process. And sometimes, I don't think anybody in this room I'm really talking to, but maybe some of you who are watching this video who are new to this program, when you decide you want to leave a project and you decide you want to leave, it's hard to come to those last rehearsals and have that last meeting, but it's worth it. And the parents who have insisted not to do that have created really weird situations for their kids because they see each other in school and it's awkward and it's weird. And I know because I've asked around to do this. So if you're one of those parents who's just decided it's over and you like to cut things off, I would urge you to reconsider that. Because for the longevity of the students in the program, that healthy closure is vital. And we're building a blueprint for how these students will interact with the world in music business or in any other business. And if they learn it here, how to get a healthy closure, move on, keep those doors open, they're gonna have that. That's an amazing skill to have. So that's important to us. I want to let you all know that. Does that make sense? Everybody with me on that?
Yeah.
Clap, clap, clap. All right, I like that. Cool. All right, so I wanted to go through the phases of the Rock Band program. Is that over there? Yeah, can you pass that out, Peepo, to everybody? And give me 1, 2, please. I think I made 20 copies, so I'm not sure how far those would go. So if you're watching the video, there'll be a handout somewhere. It might be in your parent portal. We might email it to you. I'm not sure. But look for that. Okay, so so Andy and I fleshed this out. For those of you guys who don't know Andy Tenberg, he's our education director right there. Give it up for Andy. So we try to flesh this out because it's just kind of learn. You have this program, it's working really well, and then you have communication issues, and it's like, oh, we need to lay some of this stuff out so everything's more clear. So we've kind of learned from making mistakes on how to lay this out. So so the beginner program is here to provide a healthy and safe environment for young students to develop themselves as performing artists who play together in a band. Bands at this level are becoming proficient at playing their individual instruments, are usually also enrolled in weekly private lessons to support them in better learning their parts, are beginning the process of learning the ins and outs of ensemble play. So that's the young kids who are coming in. None of you in this room are in that situation, but some of you who are watching are going to be. So that's the beginner program. That is just, let's have fun, let's play music, let's learn how to interact with each other, let's learn how to learn our part well enough so we can listen to everybody else. That's a really fun phase of the program. Phase 2 is intermediate, to provide a healthy and safe environment for young students to develop themselves as performing artists who play together in a band. Bands at this level are becoming proficient at playing their individual instruments. They're usually also enrolled in weekly private lessons to support them in better learning their parts. They have perhaps been playing with an ensemble for 1 or more year. They're beginning to hone their skills as writers or of musical parts and lyrics. I'm dyslexic, I'm gonna mess this up all over the place. Have usually participated in 2 summer rock programs and have some recording experience, which they'll get at those programs, or maybe they've gotten it outside. Are beginning to play shows outside the regular Band-Aid School of Music showcases. So that means parents are starting to book shows, backyard shows, friends who own venues, parades, whatever, right? And parents are beginning to step into the roles of booking agent, manager, and record label. During this phase, Band-Aid School of Music teachers fluctuate between the role of a teacher and a record producer, depending upon the progress of the band and the participation of the parent group. So that's why that communication at rehearsals is really good, because you find out who's good at booking, who's good at managing, who understands this, who's got friends over here, right? And you all work together as a team to essentially be the management team for the band. All right, so phase 3, this is advanced, to provide a healthy and safe environment for young students to develop themselves as songwriters and performing artists who gig regularly and are in the process of making their first 5 to 6 recordings. Bands at this level are adept at playing their individual instruments, easily playing solos, improving and writing lines on the spot, are usually enrolled in advanced private lessons, learning about theory, song structure, advanced techniques, and improv, are becoming skilled songwriters, have written 40 to 50 songs, have usually participated in 3 summer rock camp programs and have recording experience, are playing shows, Band-Aid School of Music showcases, and regular gigs outside of Band-Aid, monthly or bi-weekly. Parents are becoming comfortable in the roles of booking agent, manager, and record label. During this phase, Band-Aid School of Music teacher fluctuates between the role of teacher and record producer, depending upon the progress of the band and the participation of the parents. So same there. Like record producer sometimes, teacher other times. You guys are still working together, but you can see this is another level. I don't know if any of the bands in this room are quite here yet, but that's your target, right? That's where you want to be, and so you need to talk amongst yourselves and with your teacher and with the parent group about what's our goal to get here, right? Do we need to take our time because school is really stressful and this needs to be like a really cool experience where we're just expressing ourselves and getting it out? Or are we wanting to put more pressure on this and really go? Like, it depends upon the group of individuals, what's going on. But we want you to have this level of commitment to this program where you know where you're going, and when those other activities pop up, like, oh, now soccer's at this time, And this has happened, and then those sports coaches don't plan as far out in advance as we do as musicians. So now we've got this conflict and we've got that conflict. And we want you to know this is serious business. If you're in this rock band program, this is your priority. We're taking this very seriously. We want you to. So when those other things come up, we want you to say, maybe, if my band can work around that, I can do that. Otherwise, I got to check with them first, right? Because you affect a lot of people if you start taking commitments outside and you can't make rehearsal now, or you can't do that show, or you can't do that show. And we realize, life happens and we got to be flexible, and that's fine. But we want you to make this a priority because this is an important thing. All right. The next level is phase 4. Now, this is the artist development program. This is what you're looking at when you got your driver's license and beyond, and life outside is really starting to happen. And you're like, I don't know if I would even want to be involved with the school. I'm cool. I got my wheels and I'm ready to do this, right? This is when the artist development program kicks in. And this is to provide a healthy and safe environment for artists to develop themselves as recording artists who succeed in the music business. So the goal is to support bands and solo artists in the creative process of becoming professional recording and performing artists who understand how to succeed in the music business, right? So you gotta make some money if you're gonna succeed in the music business. You gotta understand how all this creative work that you're doing is going to create financial results. And the best time to do it is when you're still in your parents' house and you don't have rent, and you don't have electricity, and you don't have insurance, and you don't have all these things to concern yourself with, right? So this is an important phase that you can take advantage of. The bands at this level are 16 and older. They commit to Band-Aid's 1-year artist development program. They're adept at playing their individual instruments, easily playing solos, improving and writing lines on the spot. They're usually enrolled in advanced private lessons, learning about theory, song structure, and advanced techniques, and improv. They're skilled songwriters. They've written 60-plus songs. They understand how to craft a song that will be played in regular rotation on the radio, streaming, or other music outlets. They've usually participated in 4 summer rock camp programs and have recording experience. They're playing shows at Band-Aid, our showcases, regular gigs outside, monthly or bi-weekly. Parents are comfortable in the roles of booking agent, manager, and record label. Band-Aid School of Music acts as a producer only. The artists maintain their own professional level of equipment. The band arranges and rehearse in select studios outside of Band-Aid School of Music to further develop the sense of what it's like to be an independent artist and an entrepreneur. Right? So we're just showing up at your rehearsal space, usually once a month, to check in on your rehearsal, tighten up your songs, get them ready for the recording studio. This is what any recording record producer would be doing. Okay? So those are the phases, and then there's also some cool definitions of what a producer is, what a recording engineer is, what a booking agent is, what a manager is. These are really good things to know. And for those of you who are like really into this, and really want to understand the business, usually the parents, there's some reading recommendations. Donald Passmore wrote a great book, All You Need to Know About the Music Business. Martin Atkins wrote a great book called Tour Smart. And there's a guy named Rick Barker who used to manage Taylor Swift. He does a bunch of online courses to help artists make money in the industry. So those are 3. There's tons more. Ask your teachers, and they'll help you out. Does all that make sense to everybody? Cool. What level do you think your band is at, Connor?
Let's see. I think phase 2. Maybe phase 2.5.
Phase 2.5? Okay, so working on getting to 3.
Yeah.
So it's the songs and the recording, getting the recordings going for you, and more gigs.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. How about y'all, Ollie? Where do you think y'all are right now? 2? I'm hearing 2. Okay, cool. So you'll want to talk about your goals on how you're going to get to 3 and maybe what that timeline looks like with your teacher. Okay, so be asking that question to yourselves. I think I wanted to open it up to questions and answers now. Oh, we do have a calendar. I'll give you that. Do we have any questions for that? Anybody have any questions? Yeah.
So the singing songwriting experience, I saw something come out recently where through the summer that we weren't available. How do we go about enrolling in another course, or do you have any coming up?
Right. So the question for you, if you couldn't hear it, is about songwriting and singing and those workshops and courses that we're offering, and do we have any more coming up? Yeah. So that we do. They're always on the calendar. That calendar is being developed. So Andy and Wes are probably better resources for when those are going to come up, but we'll definitely keep you posted on all that. Yeah. Any other questions?
Are there opportunities to discuss like intellectual property aspects of things, like when a band breaks up, who owns what?
Yes. Part of the thing that we started addressing in phase 3 is band agreements and how to lay those out so that we understand all that, copywriting, licensing, those kind of things. In phase 3, ideally, we want those bands to be coming twice a week, so there's time for that level of rehearsal, and then there's also time for those business meetings, right? Because even though students, those business meetings might sound really boring to you right now, just even if you're picking up on some of that stuff that we're talking to your parents about, you're going to be better informed to make these decisions, because you're going to be making these decisions. How do I copyright my music? What does that mean? How do I get my song licensed on a film? How do I get it on a television show, which could like pay for my entire a year or a year and a half of my life if I get a good song license on a good show. So all those things are going to be really important for you to understand and know. And that's phase 3. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, cool. So quick calendar. So that Battle of the Bands is going to be in the spring. You know that. October 28th is, I moved this, guys. I just moved it this morning. We have our Halloween performance class, and we decided to move it to the weekend before Halloween, thinking that everybody would want to go out. But then I just thought today, we'll do it early, and everybody can get in their costumes and then go out that night. It'll be fun. So we'll do it on the 28th. That's the weekend, because Halloween falls on like a Tuesday or something this week. So 28th, Saturday, is going to be our Halloween performance class. That's your first opportunity that we're going to give you to perform. Maybe. There might be more shows coming in between. Put that one on your calendar. December 2nd is the dress rehearsal. That'll be here for the showcase. Right now we're talking to ABGB and some other venues. We'll let you know where that's going to be. But that's going to be on December 9th, that showcase for us, right? And then I've asked Kayla, our marketing coordinator, to start booking some more shows. I know we've got something in the works with with St. Stephen's, their drum ensembles. We're going to do a joint show with them somewhere in Westlake later in the fall. So there'll be an opportunity for some of y'all to play, the bands that are ready to play that show. TBD right now. And then some other stuff in the works. So I've asked Kayla to start putting together some more shows for y'all. I want to see that happen. So be ready. Cool. Any other questions? Josh?
Is there a date for the Battle of the Bands yet, or is that still in the works?
Not yet, still in the works. What we want to do is also visit a lot of the middle schools in the fall to get people fired up and other bands started so that they'll be ready in the spring. So we wanted to do it in the spring so that new bands would be ready.
So you could aim for the December showcase to be your rehearsal, like live public rehearsal for whatever your Battle of the Bands set is.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. Talked a little bit about how this is a preparation for your life. This program is a preparation for your life. Whether or not you decide you want to become a professional musician or not, this program is preparation for your life, because you're gaining the ability to listen and respond as musicians. That gives us a higher level of sensitivity than most people, and allows you to communicate and succeed in communicating, right? So the more you practice that, the better you're going to be. That's going to give you an advantage in life. Your ability to work as a team, you're going to need that anywhere. So working with your band, working with the parent group, working with your teacher / producer / mentor, all important. Courage, getting songs ready, your own songs, speaking from your heart, writing that beat that like just says what it is you're trying to say, and then getting up here and expressing that in front of other people. That takes courage, and you're going to need that. Creativity. everything you're doing here is creative. And the more creative you can be, the more you solve problems outside the box, the better you can, solve problems, your problems in life. So creativity, and then expression, right? Without the ability to express yourself, we're sunk, right? So you can let all that stuff out of your body, let the day's frustrations out on the kid or on the keyboard, creativity, expression, right? Okay, so these are the things that are going to help you succeed in life. So you get them here. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about is our band program motto, unless there's anything you guys want to add before we do that. No? Okay, so we've got a motto for our band program. I want you to repeat after me. I show up on time. I come prepared every time. I give my best all the time. All right, we're going to put it on the wall so you can repeat it every time you come in. All right, Band-Aid on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Band-Aid!
All right, thanks everybody.
All right.